here on Soma Fusion Mind, Body, and Soul. And I have Tanush again as my guest, Tanush Sudan. And I've been following this guy for about 2 years now, and he's awesome. He's so young. He's only 22, and he has his own school. Tanush, welcome and tell us about you.
It's great to be here, Veronica. Thank you for having me on again. And I'm excited to connect because our last conversation was just so fun and so many people enjoyed that conversation. I got, so many messages and so many comments, and your tribe is wonderful. You have some amazing people. I could feel the energy of the people that were watching and commenting. I read through all the comments. So I just want to say, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure. And it's really cool to connect with all of you guys and gals tonight.
Thank you, Tanush. And your crowd too. I really feel like they're authentic as well. That's what I love about doing these shows. Like, it's very rare that you can have that connection with other people. Some
Yeah,
shows it's like, man, I feel like I'm pulling teeth out of this person, and Katie has to come and rescue me, right, Katie?
that
But
sucks.
this is, hey, I'm being real.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Katie, if you don't mind, real quick, give me the phone number. I'm sorry, I haven't written it down. It's been since January that I've been on with you, and I feel so that I didn't do my homework. But can you say what the phone number is so that people can call in if they would like to, please? Katie, I think it's on the thing here. Let me see. On the
No
Facebook.
worries. I'm sure people are just joining since we're
Here
just starting
it's
off.
that. Yeah, well, not the meeting ID. We wouldn't want them to go on there, but anyway, whenever Katie pops up, we'll ask her again about the.
I think I have the number. You did send it to me, I'm pretty sure. Live call-in number is 1-929-436-2866.
Yes, I got it too. Again, 1-929-436-2866. If you'd like to call in and ask Tanush some questions. Okay, Tanush, first question is.
Do you want to write that in the chat, or people are just gonna memorize that?
Oh, well, it's on the Facebook thing on the on the section where we comment.
Okay, let me just put it in the chat
But
real
yeah, I
quick.
think. Mhm.
436-2866. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for all the questions and
Okay.
conversations. All right.
It's okay. So how was your day today, Tanush? What's average day? What do you do?
Average day. So I woke up today. My day was well. Thank you for asking. And I woke up, and what was the first thing I did? I think I came downstairs because I woke up and I was having some crazy dreams, crazy dreams. Like usual, the dreams have been intensifying. So I usually wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm back in the human again. This is interesting. And it takes me a few minutes to realign and to come back. I usually take a shower, and then I come and I check my computer, and I start getting, stuff for the school and checking my email, responding to people, working with my assistant, and then we just plan the day. So I was releasing a video today. We had a live video that me and Leslie had done, and I was sharing that we had done a premiere. And so we were basically just sharing about the school. We were talking about different things. So once that was going up, I was also sending out a few emails and doing some other social media stuff. So it's a lot of business, but also YouTube stuff. And that takes up a decent amount of time. And I finally said, enough with that. Let me go outside and get some fresh air. And so I went out to the park and really just sat with the energy and did some meditation and did a lot of energy work and really connected. Interestingly enough, I was looking at the sky and I'm like, oh my God, there's a giant craft right in front of me. And I normally wouldn't have noticed it, but when you sent me a few pictures and stuff of how you were like, look, there's a craft right there, and look, there's Alice right there. And then I was like, oh wait, I think I've been seeing them the whole time in my mind, because we're so conditioned. It's like, oh, that's not really happening. But I was like, wait, it's right there. And then I tried to grab it energetically, and it started shape-shifting.
Yeah, they do that because they know once they become aware of that we're watching them. Like me, I'll take 3 pictures, one right after the other without a flash. Now, if you want their attention, you put the flash on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that next time.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see like things being shot in the air, because there's a war going on up there.
Yes.
So it's like, oh man, that's exciting. I just saw something fly out, like I wonder who they're fighting. And I always ask them, who are you? Who are you fighting? What do you want? Like things like that. So go ahead.
So it was this crazy thing. I went I went to the park, and I was, you can see if you have the energetic sight. I know I talked to you about this in private messenger. If you have the energetic sight, you can see the grid, and you can see how all of the humans are almost walking on a conveyor belt. Okay. And they're basically just running off. This is the machine now that we're talking about. They're just following like an energetic trail, and they're basically locked in the grid so much where they can't do much with their energy. And I've also noticed that if you are really bright, when you walk around, it's almost like they are subconsciously implanted to send you negative energy. So I've noticed this for a long time, but I really noticed it today, and I was like, this is crazy. Like everywhere you will walk, everywhere I walk, I will literally observe how the grid will try to box me in, how it will try to surround me, even though I am doing everything. So I'm like rearranging the grid as I walk. Every time I walk around, I'm shifting the grids all the time to basically realign it to the way that I want it to. So I finally found a spot that was peaceful, and I was sitting with the trees and with the lake and the water, and so much was happening. So much spiritual activity was happening. I was calling out to my friends, the watchers, and they were starting to show up. But it was really interesting. I was watching these ducks just sit there, and all of a sudden they all just freaked out and started like flying all the way to the left, and like a huge like burst of energy went off. It was like a giant explosion, and I saw it happen in the astrals. I had to like do a double take. I was like, did I just see that? Sometimes you'll see something and you're like, did I just see that? Especially if it's spiritual and not physical. So I watched this huge explosion happen where these trees were, where the spaceship kind of was, and all of the birds just took off and flew away. And I felt this negative energy roll through, and I'm just watching. Everything got darker all of a sudden. And so I'm like, this is crazy. Like there's a straight up battle going on. And so then I'm like expanding my light. I'm sending it. I'm trying to like negate whatever is going on over there. And oh man, it's just crazy. These sirens are going off in the background as I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is my life now.
Yeah, and especially because a disclaimer, I always say, okay, if anybody wants to go online with me, or if anybody wants to do coaching calls with me, I tell them, are you sure you want to do it? I, as well as other super soldiers, do have abilities to what they call initiate DNA reactivation or activation. For because sure. I was able to activate my DNA. And they asked me, it's like, well, how do you activate your DNA? Well, for example, the other day I worked out 4 hours. So I did a bunch of traps and back and like half an hour cardio. And I was hurting the next day. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm glad I did it. And it's, you talk to your DNA while you're working out. You can take salt baths. I mean, I even put things like chiltepin in there, which is a round little red chile you pop, and then it just clears out your mucus, your whole system. No, it does not hurt, the private areas, nothing like that. But I do wild crap like that, take extreme hot baths and then jump in cold water. I don't know. Once I started activating my DNA, I started losing the fat that I didn't need, right? Because we do need some fat. But people say, oh, I gotta lose weight. No, it's not about the weight. It's because muscle is weight, So going back to telling people how I generally help activate super soldiers. And it didn't dawn on me until I was in the Las Vegas conference in March. And a lot of people were coming up to me, am I a super soldier? I'm like, I can't tell you, only you. And I learned this from Penny Bradley too. She's like, I'm not gonna tell anybody about their memories or anything unless they're ready or they've had some things written down. And just the other day, Tanush, you were telling me that, do you want to share that? How we were talking about how people are like kind of throwing spiritual gang signs or mudras.
It's so crazy.
In the
By the way,
Matrix.
there's a little bit of an echo. I don't know. It might be fixed now, but it's so crazy. The mudras are so crazy. I was at the same park with my friend, and I was walking around. He's also spiritual as well. And as I said, like with the grid, they try to offload negative energy onto you. And this is an attack. This is what it is. It's an attack. It's hitting your auric field. And if you're not sensitive enough, it's just gonna collect on your aura. And see, what I've kind of understood is that there's so many layers to your aura. So it doesn't usually penetrate through, especially if you have a really thick aura. I mean, if you're a normal person, it probably will. But if you're a super soldier, quote unquote, if you've done a lot of energy work and you're kind of in this game, it doesn't penetrate through, but it is annoying, and you do feel it as a density. So I'm walking by, and what I feel intuitively, what I kind of picked up is that there are people that basically get hijacked energetically by negative entities where their spirit's not there. So their spirit's not fully there. And so that there's cracks in the aura, and the negative entity can slip in and then release negative energy towards those individuals that are just vibrating really high as a way of kind of balancing out the energy, because this is a matrix machine. So I see these people doing these weird things. Like the first person kind of like looked, it was crazy because they're looking down, or they're not even looking at me. They're looking at their phone while they're walking, which, it doesn't make sense. But then I see their astral eyes look right at me. It's almost like they have double eyes. So their physical eyes is looking down. My eyesight is really weird in the sense that I will see a person's astral form more so than their physical form. That's just, my eyes have always been like that. So I see them like do these weird things, and I felt like a tinge or something. And I'm like, what just happened? Did that really just happen? Just like before. And so I redirected. I immediately just like sent it back. And it happened a couple more times. And then it started to get a little bit more aggressive. And I was trying to point it out to my friend, and my friend wasn't catching on to it. And then we finally sat at the rocks, and I sensed a dude walking behind us, kind of like trying to corner off our signal. And it happens again. And I'm like, did you feel that? And he's like, yeah, I felt that one. I'm like, yeah, because that was pretty obvious. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, we're always getting boxed in. And I've really understood it's a suppression of magical power. That's what they want. They want to suppress the power, because anytime I start cranking it up and start really using my juice, it's like a whole factory of people will spawn and start trying to box the frequency in. So it's absolutely crazy.
It is. I totally have to deal with that on a daily basis. And last weekend, 2 Saturdays ago, I just went into a Target, and I was followed by two guys. I'm like, I'm over here trying to just get whatever I need and get out. I don't like to go to the grocery store if I can avoid it, because I feel their energy. I see them, their eyes, right? I try not to look at them. I mean, I look at one time and I can tell what they're wearing, profiling pretty much, because I was in law enforcement and I don't like to use that word, but that's what they trained us. So even as a little kid, I can see, like, I was trained to not stare. My parents were like, no mires para allá, and don't point. But with the abilities that you come in, you already know. So I was followed by two men at Target, and then I went to Fry's and followed by another one outside toward my vehicle. I'm like, what the heck, It's and it happens more than often. It's not a coincidence anymore. Because I'm speaking more out against the bad AI, will say, and
yes,
and the Matrix.
The Matrix.
The system. It's very dangerous. They don't like it. So forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I can see those energetic fields and things like that. But Tanush, real quick, what is it that you offer in your school? What is it how do you train people? What do you do? That way I can remember what I was going to say, because it does.
So yeah, the school is basically my compilation of all metaphysical knowledge. So we do break down the matrix. We do break down the grid constructs and the AI and Sophia versus Yaldabaoth. We talk about the machine. We talk about how the grids are laid out. We talk about how to protect your energy. We talk about how to cultivate your energy. We talk about how to meditate. We talk about how to raise your frequency, how to start tapping into magic, how to develop your life purpose. how to attract your soul tribe, how to do basically anything that you would need to know in this whole field and beyond. We even talk about how to attract money and how to become, wealthy by bending the matrix in your favor. Anything that you would need to know, if you're awake, this is the school for you. You need to come to the school because we have all of the information that I've just sat and just compiled and just studied endless hours, not just of my own material, other people's material, and then learn from them. And I specialize in energetics. That's my specialty, is the ability. So I will teach you extremely high level abilities where you can work with the storm energies, create storms, create wind currents, create massive energetic constructs, and then direct those into your life. So I teach offense and defense, and that's going to be something, we just launched the school about a month ago. So it's just opening up, and we already have about 70-ish members or so. So we're definitely growing. But this school is my initial creation. It's my masterpiece as well for the spiritual being that needs to understand that there is a war also. It's not just love and light. You can't just sit there and hum om all day. You have to realize that there's actually a metaphysical war going on around you, and it's interdimensional. And if you're not protected and you don't know how to wield your power, you're going to be eaten. So it's crazy shit out here, and I experience it on a daily basis. And I see how it's just getting more and more intense as the days are going by. And all I wished was, when I first came into this, that somebody showed me what to do or how to protect myself, because I posted on my Facebook yesterday of a video, and it was kind of like our conversation that reminded me of a video when I used to train with aerokinesis, which is airbending, of a chopper flying above me for like 30 minutes. Just hovering over me for like 30 solid minutes. It's a Black Hawk military chopper that's just staring there. And then as soon as I pull out my phone and start recording it, it basically, the dude looked at me, I saw him, and he just flew off instantly. And he was there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that video, and myself and my super soldier friends as well have they have, like me, I have two TR3Bs that are here day and night. But the choppers will fly.
Yeah.
I'll be having a conversation with my family or my kids, and I'm like, oh, there it is. And of course they roll their eyes. How could it be? No, I'm being followed all the time. I mean, even when I go on my bike rides, or even just once I leave my apartment, I open the door. There we go. There's a ship here. They're following me over here. It's like, I'm already used to it, but it's like, come on, guys, like, leave me alone. Like, the attacks are there every day. And I mean, I was even involved like 3 months ago. I was involved in a hit. How do you say? Somebody hit me from the back, and I have a big feeling that if it wasn't because I had my daughter and and someone else with her there, her significant other, I think that the crash would have been worse. And my shoulder's still messed up. The other day I fell. Yesterday morning, my ankle went out. But then again, the ankles, I've had that problem since I was a little kid. When I was born with feet that were messed up. I needed those braces that I needed special braces. And my parents couldn't really afford it. Only like a year, they got help for a year. I've had 5 feet surgeries. I have a feeling that it has to do with the Dolphin DNA program that I'm in. And as a child, and most of us super soldiers have problems with the ankles because we have to fly, jump, fight, time after time.
I have dislocated both of my ankles probably about 10 times each, and I've broken each of my feet and almost all of my fingers. They've all grown back somehow, but my ankles have always been a little bit stiff for a long period of time. And there's definitely other injuries. I could talk about injuries as well. Like, you wake up, it's like you go in the realm and you get your ass beat, or you beat someone else's ass, and then And I just want to be clear, we're not always fighting, but fighting definitely is like, there is definitely, Earth is a battleground. That's all I can say. I wish it wasn't, but it is. You know, I don't like to fight because it's tiring and it wastes energy. I mean, that doesn't mean that we're not good at it. We're extremely good at it, but it is tiring. Creators would rather just sit around and create worlds than fight. When you're incarnated in this matrix, you have to fight to some degree, because the negative forces are going to fight you if you don't fight them. It's not like we're sitting here and we're like, oh, let's go fight something. It's more like we're sitting around minding our business,
Right.
and they're just attacking you left, right, left, right. It's just kind of like how they're trying to force you to get the jab, right? That's an attack. They're attacking us. So like, it's crazy shit. And you know, with what you were saying about the following and everything, it's not have one experience. When I was in Philly, when I was in college, it's the same time I was recording that video of the chopper. I used to have a lot more aggressive attacks because I was in the city. Like, I had there was a time I got jumped and robbed. That was when I literally had just spiritually awoken. Like, I had my spiritual awakening. The next day I got robbed and jumped in Philly. It's like crazy. Like, that happened. And then there was another time where I was just minding my own business and I was training, and this black van just comes out of nowhere, and he's just sitting there, and the dude is videotaping me. He's recording me as I'm like working with energy. He's recording me. I see him. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And he literally just takes off and just dips. And I'm like, nobody else saw that besides me, right?
No, I can relate. I've had last year, I was doing legs at the gym, and these 4 guys walk in with plain clothes and drinks in their hand. I'm like, what the hell? And I was talking to
At the
one of my
gym?
friends online. What?
At the gym? They're walking, they have drinks in their hands at the gym?
Yes. Okay, from
crazy.
Circle K or whatever the hell, you know? And I talked to my friend, and I'm like, dude, this just happened. This just did, right? And then by the way, since I was a little kid, I talk to myself in here, or I call my dragons through my wrist. Okay. Anyway,
It's cool, yeah.
so I was on the phone though with him, and I'm like, holy F, this just happened. He's like, get the fuck out. And I'm like, okay. So I come home. I barely got there, like maybe half an hour. I'm like, man, I gotta go home now. This sucks. So I come home, and in the front of the gates, there's a white van waiting for me. I'm like, oh God. So
Yeah.
I told my other friend James Ring about it, and he's always being watched too. And then what's weird is that so I've been involved in many projects. One of them is Project Umbrella. Guess what? There's a vehicle here, an old cop car that has a freaking umbrella thing on it, the symbol. It's like, they're right here, you know? Is this coincidence? No, it's not. But anyway, one thing that you can do is, and what I do is now, is I'll go into the van or the vehicle that's waiting for me. I'll go astrally, like I'm here in my room, or I'm here in my, or I'm at the gym, and I see a vehicle, we'll say parked at the gym or here, right? And I'll go in astrally in my mind and just fuck them up. It's like, all right, if there's 3 guys in there, you know, I'm gonna do this, you know, do the karate chop, or I have a, you know, my weapon, you know, it's just, you gotta tell them, hey, what's up? You gotta tell them to not mess with you, pretty much. This is what's gonna happen if you're gonna disappear, or I'm gonna go into your family and make them disappear. I mean, that's how you have to play. And this is not really playing. This is real shit. You know, you gotta tell them who's boss. You gotta say, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna disappear, or something's gonna happen to you. Especially when we were in the Las Vegas thing, Penny Bradley and I had seen the same guy, the same CIA dude, you know, same description, and we were not even in the same room when we saw him come into the big. It was called the Westgate, and of course we know that those are gates and jump rooms in the hotels. Okay, because I could be in the Westgate, and you can be in the Sahara, and depending on the rooms, mine was 2220. So I was like, that was my room. It was 2222. And Penny was in, well, I'm not going to say what room, because, you know, anyway, we'll say she's in room 1212 or whatever. And you can hook up within there and go astrally through the jump rooms, or you can go, like, say, if I want to contact you through the Sahara and I'm here at the Westgate, we can go and plan a mission together. or they just use us like that. Another thing that I found that was very interesting, I was with my friend Iris. Iris had taken me out to lunch because I had like this whole thing was, oh my God, it was like 4 days, very intense. I had like 2 opportunities to go out and eat right quick. So I went with her and we were standing outside in Las Vegas. There's like a Dairy Queen and we were at the In and Out and I was like, holy F. I looked at the Trump Tower. There's a Trump Tower. And then there's these two buildings that go like this. They're like convex, I guess, or not concave, but convex this way.
Convex, yeah.
I'm like, holy F, that's a Stargate. And I understood and I realized that that's what happened with 9-1 tag 1, you know. They blew up the fucking Stargate. So I keep thinking, what are they going to do with the Trump Tower there? What are they going to do with the Stargate in Las Vegas? Are they going to do something? Like, I don't know if they are or not, but it's just, that's how we can go through different portals and the ETs as well, and the military. So what do you think about that?
Oh my God, I have so many thoughts on this because people need to understand that this is so real. It's so real. I can't believe how real some of this stuff is. I can't go into my backyard basically at this point without being detected by, I mean, it's always going to be like that because we're on the grid. Let's be real. I went to another lake a couple days ago. I like to go to these lakes. That's where I have my peace. And this dude comes up to me and he's like, "Are you Danuj?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, I watch your YouTube channel." And I'm like, "What?"
What? Oh, no way. That's crazy.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm Marcus. Do you know this guy's name?" And it was my CIA friend.
You got one of those too, huh? I got plenty of those, man.
So it's like a stalk. I don't want to say it's stalking, but it's like the grid lines up certain things on purpose to always have somebody accompany you to some degree, to always be monitoring you, to always be reporting in on you, to always be checking up on you, to always be like, seeing like, okay, is he gonna raise his power levels too high right now if he's by himself? Is he gonna really test and see what he can do?
Yeah, it's like, is she or he gonna escape the prison planet in their real body? Are they gonna leave the planet now? Like,
are they gonna? Yeah, are they just gonna say, "Fuck it, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I'm just gonna just like open up the wormhole and dip."
I was thinking about that last night. I was in so much pain, and pain is part of our life. We know that. I mean, I can deal with pain. That's no problem. But I was so just tired. I'm like, why don't I just open up my portal and go? But it's like, man, we still gotta be here.
Yeah, we chose to be here. So I don't think I'm ready to leave yet because I have a mission and I don't want to leave. But there are definitely some times where I do feel that there is a constant it's like as your energy signature grows and as you get more juiced up and you unlock more codes, you really are monitored by your family, by your friends. And this is not like they're tracking you in the sense that this is some kind of government thing, because it can be government. The government's working through it, but this is an interdimensional thing. This is actually the matrix construct that's trying to puppeteer you. So it's the AI. Simple as that. It's the AI. And I've even watched my own friends that I really dearly care about be manipulated by the matrix construct. And I have to point it out to them, especially if they're conscious. I'm like, dude, you just got hijacked for half a second. And I've even watched myself get hijacked and then come back. It's where the ego takes over for a second, you know? So
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was gonna touch on the love bites again. I had 2 CIA love bites. I named it the CIA love bite. Why? Because a lot of people were like, well, have you heard of, there's a thing called alien love bite? And I'm like, well, it's the same freaking thing. It's just some of them are backed up by aliens, ETs. Some of them are, connected to the military government. Some of them are just nosy freaking neighbors. I have two nosy neighbors here. This one guy, every time I go to the gym, hey, ¿cómo te va? You know, what are you doing? How was it? I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, where are you going today? I'm like, you know, I have my backpack with me. I usually just say I'm going to the gym, but it's none of his business. You know, he can tell because I'm dressed up like to go to the gym. Then there's another lady that comes outside every time I walk by her house just to say, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing? And do you have a boyfriend? Do you know, what happened with that other one? It's like, oh, you know, if I sit there and explain to her the CIA love bite, forget about it. They're going to be like, phew, it's going to go above their head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand about being hijacked. And then how when I came back physically to, because I had gone, you know, away from here, like for 2 weeks, I was looking for a place with this guy, and he was SSP, and I'm like, I'm not gonna name any names, but it's like, how could I fall into that? You know, so now it's like, I don't want to date, I don't date SSP people. I don't, my rule at the gym is I don't date guys from the gym or SSP anymore. Because it's like, you know, I'm fine here. I really don't need anybody. You know, I'm good. I'm my own queen. Like I'm my own twin flame. I'm good, Tanush. It's just that sometimes, you know, you think, well, maybe. And it's like, no, I've already been married 18 and a half years, divorced 9. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I think the Matrix is also involved in trying to take your energy away and saying, oh, you're very lonely, you need somebody. Well, that's bullshit too. What do you think?
The programming is rough. It's tough. It's really powerful. It's everywhere you look. It's almost to the point where it can drive you mad if you're not strong enough. It can, if you see what we're seeing, and you know what, for you, it's I hate to say this, but it's even worse because you're a girl, you're a female, right? You're a woman. So when you started saying like I have guys following me, like I don't have that to that degree, you know? There's definitely guys following me, but they're not following me in that the same reason. I would hope. um, where there's like a sexual component as well to it. So
Well, yeah, I think it has to do with the because you know, I don't know if you were involved with that, but I was involved with the sex kitten program with the MK with the sex beta. So we all were trained in we have altars, okay?
this is on the astral realm, right?
No, this is real.
This
Real
is in the
shit.
physical realm.
Yeah, they take us physically since we were little kids. So I was taken at 1 year and 8 months. So I've been in all the programs. You can look them up. There's so many programs.
Jesus.
Anyway, so it's pretty sad
How
because
did you get your memories back to all of this? Through the activations.
I ended up shooting myself in
Oh,
2010.
right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And then I figured, okay, well, I can't leave. I had, remember I told you about the people
I remember.
or the that I saw, yeah, all that. So then in 2016, I started reading up on what is a super soldier. You know, I started meditating. I'm like, who am I? I'm doing the I am that I am that I am meditation. I know I am that I am. Who am I? I started asking myself, what the freak am I doing here? Like, I don't want to be here, you know? And so I finally understood that I was using these programs, and I'm very close to Max Spears. I started watching him and James Caswell on basis, on Miles Johnson. I started contacting Kenny Bradley, James Ring. Susan Long contacted me. She remembered me from one of the projects in Montauk. Then, you know, I just started making these videos and just memory logs. And then people just started talking to me, hey, I need your help, or hey, I remember you in the Hulk program. Like, holy F, how did you know? I had just, you know, done a video with James Ring about my regression, about seeing myself being made in this Hulk form. And he said, I haven't looked at any of your videos. Your cop picture looks so familiar. That's how you looked in one of the programs. And he started telling me all kinds of stuff that I already saw before. And I got my family back. I got my SSP family back. You know, they're very supportive. I don't know what I would do. I love my kids are I always say my right hand, you know, my family. I know some of them don't support me, some do, but as long as I got my kids and my SSP family, I'm good. You know, as long as I got me, I always say, as long as I got me, I got me. I learned to, you know, unchain my heart like I put on my little YouTube channel, unmask your soul, find out who you are, go through I started looking through all the memories, like the bad things that happen and the things here on earth and the things in battle. So I'm still I'm still figuring out, I'm still piecing things together, but now I'm able to help people based on my memories.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's a lot of info too, you know, to remember. And I don't know if I was in any of those programs. I don't think I was, but it might be like I feel that most of the stuff that I've done has been on the astral realm. That's just what I feel. I feel like my physical life has been pretty mundane and it's almost been kept that way on purpose. Just like, hey, there's nothing going on here, buddy. Just live your normal life. And it's
Right.
like this
That's what they want you.
facade, right? It's this facade of normality. But then when you go into the astral realm, things gets crazy. They get so crazy, and the astral realm now bleeds into the physical. So
Yes.
now it's just one. It's no,
Right.
there's no more physical to me. It's just always happening. I had a dream a couple of nights ago where I was fighting this giant being, a giant. It was a Nephilim. It was a Nephilim being, and he was taunting me. And I actually started seeing these beings walking around in Earth. They're actually here. They actually are still walking around in other dimensions. And as soon as you sense their presence and they sense your presence, it's constant war. It's like they want to. These are the fallen angels, I guess you could say. These are Nephilim. Um, they want to fight constantly, and they want to fight those that are gods or were gods at one point. They know who we are. They remember. They can sniff us out. They can sniff our energy signatures and our DNA, and they see us, and they actually want to attack and battle. So it's absolutely insane. I don't know how much else to put out there without sounding completely insane. You know, I
It doesn't
remember.
matter, Tanush. I mean, some of us were like me. I was labeled SMI, severely mentally ill, because my ex put me in a psych ward after that stuff happened, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, I'm not crazy. And the one of the, we'll say, one of the DARPA agents that I was talking to, he warned me to shut up. It's like, why are you talking? Don't mention the 3-letter word. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I finally got fed up in our conversation, and this is a real conversation that we've had this conversation twice. And I got to keep talking. It's for the children. Why are you talking? It's for the children. First of all, the children. Okay.
Mm.
They took us as very young. And you got to remember, Tanuj, is that most of the time they take us physically, but sometimes they will use your consciousness, and they will put it in another body. Okay. So I don't know, you might want to keep writing everything down, and maybe one day you'll remember. One thing that I learned from Penny Bradley was, when I first contacted her, I asked her, how do I get more of my memories back? And she said, well, just ask your subconsciousness every night. And that's what I've been doing, because that's where the key is. That's where the
Right.
key of our memories, you know. And and I said, well, how do you know if the dream is a dream or it's not? How do you know if it's a memory? And she says, oh, you'll know. She says it's very, very real when you're there, And so one thing that I've gotten really good at is seeing the faces. Like we were talking the last time, it's like, go ahead and see the eyes. Go ahead and see, what does it transform into? Does it transform into an ET? Does it go away? Right? You've had many experiences like that.
So many. Yeah, you're right. Like ordinary people, you could just be walking down the street. You don't even know that the person that's walking by you, yes, they're a human in the sense that they have a human body, but their astral form is not human. They are something else. And there's a lot of those around, almost to a not frightening, but just a alarming degree. So let's see, where can we take this? Where can we take this concept and this conversation? I don't want to put fear into people's minds. I don't want them to be afraid.
No, Danush, but you know what? We gotta tell them. Okay, we gotta tell them what's going on, and then they have to find a way to protect themselves. So I do many, many layers of protection on myself and on my kids. It's like, I got my 6 dragons. I know who I am. I have my 2 angels, Lucifer and Michael. You gotta find out who you are, and find a way to protect yourself. So go ahead. I mean, this isn't this my show. We talk about everything and anything. And I always say to my guests, you tell them your experience to the best of your knowledge and always be truthful. Because I would never want to have a YouTube channel or, you know, I'm not fake, yo. Like, I'm an open book. And there's so many people out there that know. And half of the community is mad at me, and the other half is like, you know, keep going. But I don't care. I'm not here for popularity. So I'm here to, like you, I'm here to help others. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me continue the story with where I left off with I was okay, so I was at the park, and this park is a fairy kingdom. That's what it is. It's a fairy park. It's surrounded by the fairies. Like, if you don't know what a fairy forest is, you walk there with me, you'll feel all the fairies because they love me and they love communicating. So the fairies are on our team, and that's a good thing. I've made an alliance with them. They're very friendly.
Yes, they are on our team.
And so I hear them all the time, and I'm walking, and they always tell me, like, don't walk in our woods when it's nighttime. And I don't know why. Maybe it's, I kind of know, I do know. It's because there's other things that lurk at night in these woods that are not, you don't want to be around. You don't want to have to deal with. You don't have to be, basically fight with. But I went and I sat down. I could feel a lot of chaos, a lot of, like, I felt that war after I got up and I saw the astral bomb go off and the birds take off and the craft in the air. I went to go sit next to another spot, and I summoned a rune. I used a Norse rune because I have a strong connection to the Norse, system, Futhark. So I used a specific rune called Raido, and Raido is spiritual protection and purity, and it's also about divine order. And so I summoned it. I drew it on the ground, and I activated it, and I also called out to Enki. I also called out to the Allfather because I have a very strong connection with him. And instantly, not only did I sense this giant, like, dome of energy surround my whole area, the whole park area that I was at. I also just, like, got flung back. My neck and my body just got flung back, and, like, I literally just got like a huge hit of energy. And then I open my eyes and I literally see Hanky. I see his outline right in front of me. He's like, I'm here. What did you call me for? And the first thing that happened was I heard his voice in the TV show American Gods. So this is the funniest part. The creatures, the entities, they'll talk to you in modern culture references. They'll be like, I'm here. What's up? And he's like, I'm here. Why did you call me? And I just asked him, I was like, just need some protection. I just need some divine energy around me right now. I can't be around this freaking lower astral stuff. And he kind of gave me some reassurance, and I felt the protection. And then I got up and I dismissed him. I said, thank you very much. That's all I needed. And he disappeared, and it was good. I was like, okay, I can go back to my car. I can feel balanced again. And that was a pretty powerful experience. These things happen like every single day at this point, all day long. So that was the rest of my story for today.
Thank you. No, yeah, for real, for sure. What I do is I've gotten caught meaning at night when I'm riding my bike and it's like so dark. And I've been followed by two guys with backpacks. They're not even wearing helmets or anything like that. And there's something was going on with one of my kids, and I can't say what, but it's over, and I broke the hex and all that crap. But anyway, that night they both like went to, there's like a roundabout again on St. Mary's by Speedway and St. Mary's. There's like two portals here in town, and they didn't look at me, but they both said in Spanish. One of them said in Spanish, "Nomás le vine a avisar." I just came to warn you. I'm like, and then they take off the opposite direction because I took a break in the light. I made sure that it was light, and there's these huge tall trees. There's beautiful trees were in this specific area, and I asked the trees for protection. So anyway, what I do is I say, all that is seen and unseen, come and protect me and my children in this now moment. And it
Very
just,
powerful.
and I see the roots coming up of the trees, everything that is
Feel it.
seen and unseen, everything as above, so below. It's like I'm always protected, and I'm always helping protect others too. You know, in my community, and even here in my apartment complex, I will put a bubble of protection around all the complexes, my cars, their vehicles, my cats. You know, just the children that are playing outside. It's very important that that we do this. This life is not a, we're not here just for us. We're here obviously to help others and protect others as well, and to show them how to protect themselves.
Yeah,
So
that was
yeah,
really well said. And I could feel the energy of when you were sharing that. And you know what I want to say is like the reason why we are even going through these situations in the first place is because of the way that the earth is now, because of the way the consciousness is, and because of what humans have allowed to roam around in this realm. So because 99% of the people are still asleep, or so many people are asleep, and there's so much negative energy roaming around. There's a lot of positive energy too, but there's a lot of negative energy, and it makes the grids heavier. There's so many denser energies that are allowed to roam around, so many denser ETs, you know, basically junk, astral junk, whether that be thought forms, negative thought forms, directed energy weapons, whether that be astral, whatever, you know. I just call it crap. It's just crap.
it's true, because they sent the bad ETs to Earth. They said the then, you know, the people that have people or entities that have to have been reincarnated here because of all the bullshit they've done to this planet, to people. Okay, basically they also call it a prison planet is because they send prisoners over here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
And we're also security guards. At least I am. I'm also a
Yeah.
security guard, meaning
Yeah,
like that's one of my jobs. That's, you know, you said that and it really, like, I've really known this. I'm like, people
we're
come.
the cops. We're the cops
Yes,
of
we are
of
the
Mother Earth.
cops. We are actually the cops of Mother Earth. That's what it is.
We are.
We are the Marvel heroes, the super, you know, we're the ones that are maintaining the grid, keeping it all patched up, making sure nothing slips through to the other side, and also making sure nothing slips in. And then making sure that the gateways stay closed. Because one thing that I've noticed is that these gateways are just opening up everywhere. They're just flinging open. And there's all kinds of portals opening up. And that's a good thing because, yes, more astral energy can flow through. But it's also a bad thing because if it's the wrong gateways, then you have all kinds of nonsense going up. And someone has to clean that up. And that has to be us.
Yeah, we also have to close some of the portals. So
Exactly.
what I do is, I don't know, people have asked me before, and some people say, well, why are you going to give your all your information out for free, you know? And I'm like, well, I'm here to help. This is what helps me. So whenever I want to open a portal. So when I was
Well,
right
well,
before,
can I stop you for a second? I don't think you should give all your
yeah,
information.
let's not. Anyway,
No.
just
Here's the
open
thing. Here's the thing.
portals, close
Here's the thing.
portals.
I think that you should share how you open and close portals, but you know, I give away a lot of information for free, but I also have paid stuff as well because I understand, like, okay, my information is extremely valuable. And
Right.
if I give it out for free, sure, I'm giving it out for free, but I'm not telling you exactly everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you watch my courses and my school stuff, it's way in depth. I show you exactly what I draw. So that's the same thing with you. You know, if
Right.
someone wants to book a consultation with you, you're going to give them 10 times more energy and ability to teach them what's going on than just on YouTube, where we're just having a conversation about our experiences and just flowing kind of with the convo, you know? But we do this
No,
as a
you're right.
service to other. This is a service to others. This is not about us. I don't give a shit about YouTube popularity. This is
Right.
not about that. I actually hate that because now I have dudes coming up to me when I'm trying to be in nature saying, hey, are you this guy from YouTube? I'm like, how did you even find me?
Right. Exactly. Being and you live what? You live close to DC, right?
I live close to DC, so I got a bunch of stuff going on over here. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah. And you're there to hold the grid over there, and I'm here to hold the grid here, because they always say, well, how come, you know, when I was at the Vegas conference, there was a question saying, well, how come you guys don't live together or live really close by. And it's like, well, because our energy is really, really high when we're together. So for example, the next day I get there and my friends, my SSP friends get there. Um, the elevator goes out. There's
Yeah.
so half of the wing is the elevators are gone. There's long ass lines over here on this other side. It's crazy. And it's like, how do you, and then when the day before I left, there was two SS that were there. I left. I was about to leave, and then the they had been able to repair some of the elevators, but it was the other side now. There were two that were down. And so I told my friends online, I'm like, hey, as soon as the last SS leaves, Super Soldier leaves from here, from the West Gate, everything will go back to normal as far as like, electronically or electricity wise. And then I go to the airport and there's and I went American Airlines, right? There's one that's down. There's so there's a plane that's down. So when I get there, we're delayed because there's two more planes that went down. I'm like, what? Like it's unrepairable until the next day. So is this coincidence? No, it's just I was high vibing, with my family there. When I finally met them here in the 3D, as we say, Danush, I was so happy. We all cried. We're like, oh my God, I finally met you. We've been in this programs together and since we were kids, and now I finally get to hug you here, in this body. It's amazing. So anyway.
Yeah, and they're kind of foolish to think that the elevator is going to work with all of those people. I mean, you know how big a person's torus field is when they're activated? It's huge. It's huge. It's
huge. You know what I heard? I heard that we, like, one of me and one of you, like, activated. One of us is 10,000 suns in one. That's what I hear.
Fully turned on, max power. You can see that shit from space. You can see the soul from space. That's how they actually track us. They don't need any of these tracking devices. They can see our light. It's so big. I know when I turn my light on, I know it's visible to everybody. Because everybody's like, they immediately would just turn towards my direction, like their neck is broken so quickly.
No, for reals, yeah. So what I do is, oh gosh, because I always say not everybody deserves to see our light. So I do the black shield.
Nah.
I do the black cloak. Because I don't want everybody to go see me,
Yeah, the invisibility thing is something that I actually been doing a lot more, especially like today when I was just first walking in. I was like, let me just see if I can just do an invisible thing. It worked a little bit. I still felt that the dude was he wasn't aware. Like the entity might have been aware, but he wasn't aware, if that makes sense. But yeah, back to what you were saying is like, no, there's no way that the elevator is gonna work. If one of us, I walk around in all the lights, the street lights, not the freaking like house lights. The house lights always go out, but the street lights will go out. These giant street lights.
Oh yeah, imagine if like even just you and I or somebody else and with us would try and do meditation, forget about it. Like before I was fully, we'll say, activated or awakened, my friend and I, she was my best friend from high school, we did a circle around us. This is like before I knew I was SS and all this programming and before I knew what my mission was and all that. So she's like, let's just do a meditation. And then she put a circle around us with candles. Forget about it. The candles went out. Then the kitchen light went out. We couldn't do it.
Ritual accomplished.
Yeah. Man.
You're going to light the whole damn house on fire.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, we already talked about the fire that I almost had here. Anyway. Yeah. So, anyway, do you want to keep going or do you want to take a break? What can we do?
I'm good. We can keep going. If anyone wants to call in, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm down to keep going and to just shoot the breeze. Because it's important stuff that people gotta kind of tune into. And what I have been, what I've been working on a lot is just been not just warding. I don't know how much I want to like say, but I've been setting up a lot of wards because I've been starting to understand what's really been going on. Each day has been more unlocking. So I've been setting up a lot of wards, a lot of just a lot of just magical things or metaphysical things that can help me anchor in my position better. I did this thing today when I was sitting at the lake spot where I was sensing everybody else's grid, like you know how you're running on the grid and you're in a specific spot, and you can sense how much energy they actually are running. And I didn't sense anything. Like I sensed just enough light for a human to run. And then I sensed my spot, and I sensed how much it was just like flowing like crazy, like just a giant waterfall. And I said, "Oh, this is why the things are getting attracted, because so much energy is being put out right now." And it's a thing we don't think about. If you're activated, you don't think about how much energy you're running, because you can't feel your own energy too much. You're in it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
So,
why one of the things it's like I can't sleep. It's because I'm like fully like aware and awake, and I want to go do this and I want to go do that, but it's like I already worked out 3 hours. It's like, what else am I gonna do?
it's especially during I asked the spirits this actually. It's especially during 12 to 3 a.m. And the reason is because I asked the spirits, I went outside, it was like 2 a.m. I'm like, why do I have so much energy during this time? And they said, because, and then they said it in a way, it's like, come on, bro. It's such an obvious answer. You know, they have a little bit of like, you can sense their underlying like attitude or emotional energy.
They do, and they cuss too. You know that. Some people are like, oh my God, angels cuss. And I'm like, fuck yeah, they cuss.
Angels will kill you.
Yes, they will.
They will kill. Angels can be more dangerous than demons, but
yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, the reason is because your light body, they said it in such an obvious way. They're like, your light body is the most powerful during this time. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And I'm like, wait, why do I feel the most most physical during 12 to 3 p.m.? They're like, because your physical body's the most powerful during 12 to 3 p.m. And I'm not sure if that's for everybody, but they were saying that just specifically for me. And I think it's probably for everybody.
It is for everybody. And it's the 3. It's
yes.
the 3 hours.
It's
and
the
then
3.
Some people have told me that they wake up at 3 or 3:33, like anywhere between 3 and 4. Yeah. So not only from 12 to 3, Tanush, but from 3 and 4, forget about it. That's where we can do the most magic. That's where the grid is kind of like, see, okay, how I see it, oh, I'm getting goosebumps, is that the grid has to be recalculated for the next day. Like you, okay, you're with the Anunnaki, so am I. So what do? Okay, it's time to put down the sun. There's another there. Put up the moon, put up the rainbows. I got 2 rainbows. Hey, like every time I see one rainbow, I go, okay, where's the second rainbow? Let's put it up, you know? and it's so fake, but people don't know it's fake.
I've seen them moving stuff around, and they look at me like, you're not supposed to see this. What are you doing here? And they just like, they give you that look, like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to watch us do this.
Dude, have you seen the grid up there? Like the traffic?
Yes.
So much traffic. All the spaceships up there, most of them are in line, like freaking red light. We got a green light here, you know, got traffic jam, got a suicide lane going on. Have you seen all that?
I haven't seen like actual like traffic lights, but what I've seen is just so much activity that it's just like, how are you not seeing this? People, there's so much activity. There's more activity going on up there and around us that's happening than in the physical, like by far. So
like I mean, do they take a break and eat in their vehicles up there? You know, okay, well, you know, like here, it's okay. So everything is like upside down, right? And everything here has a bleed through of up here. And people say, oh my God, it's outer space. Oh my God, it's like 1,000 light years away. No, dude, just look up and there's Saturn right there. There's, you know, Venus up there. It's here.
It's a whole dome construct.
Yeah, like make pretend like there's zipper and you open it up. There you go. That's where we are.
Yeah.
You don't have to go like the movies, right? They say some things are real. They have to disclose everything. For the sci-fi movies, most of that crap is real. You know, it's just you got to use your intuition. You got to use your gifts to say, oh, I've been there before. Oh yeah, that kind of jives with what I've seen or what I feel.
Yeah.
So yesterday there was a storm, electrical storm, and because we're going through monsoons, and usually I go outside and let myself get, you know, wet under the rain. And yesterday I was just sitting there letting my legs get wet, and I'm like, F this. So I took my beanie hat, because I have to wear that special beanie hat sometimes. And I go outside and I let myself just get inundated with the water. And I ask, and I'm talking to the energies. I'm talking to the electricity, the fire that's going on here in the astro, and I'm using this energy to heal my body. I'm using this energy, to make sure that I have, my bills paid this month. I'm using this energy to take care of, whoever's around me, family, kids, whatever. So, I said, I need some sleep. I had not slept in like a long time. And finally last night through the electrical storm, I was able to get a lot of sleep. I feel so much better because I was in a lot of pain. All my bones were hurting. It's like, man, I want to go home now, but I'm not a PUSSY either. I'm not going to go home. It's not time yet. But it's
Yeah.
you all have to learn how to use these energies somehow, and that's what you teach, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I teach, how to balance all that stuff out. And I've been there with the whole no sleep thing. Like, either this is the way it works. This is the life of a Gaia cop. This is our new terminology, the Gaia cop. Like, you said it perfectly. We are the police for the earth, the interdimensional police, and it's everybody hates us except for the good ones.
Exactly. Yep.
The negative ones, they actually actively see us as a threat. They actually want to shoot us. It's kind of like how they treat the police in this world, in the physical. They're like, oh, it's that dude.
Yep.
It's always the police, which I have no comment on that, by the way. But yeah, it's super crazy. And either you're gonna sleep a crazy amount. This is the way it works for me. Either I'm gonna sleep like 12 hours, or I'm gonna sleep at nothing at all. And I'm just gonna be wired, because either my astral body needs to rest and it's used up a crazy amount of energy, like kilowatts. I don't know if you could measure this thing with a device, it would be like off the charts. It would be powering like insane amounts of devices. You could use that energy and power like a whole city.
Exactly.
That's
why if they say if the sun goes out, then we got us. We
just turn it back on.
Yeah.
It's just a 1 or a 0. You just turn on the number back. They showed me how to do it. You just, like, you see Thoth writing on the script. You think that the script is actually a real pen? No, he's using an astral light and an astral tablet, and he's writing the codes of the Matrix. And it's like, you see him, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to look at us. You're not supposed to see us."
Yeah, they're like, "What? Why are you here?" They get so
jaded.
Surprised.
Jaded, like, oh, it's like a deer in headlights kind of look.
Yeah, like they say, I don't know, like I used to read the Bible a lot, like I've read it twice, and I know that 80% is not right. We know that. But I do use things like the angels, they didn't want to serve humans, but they are lesser than us. Oh, hell no, baby. We are gods too. We are all the same, and it's like they hate it. That's why I prefer my dragons. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't do angels, I only do one. Meaning I have one that protects me. That's Archangel Michael, but he has an attitude sometimes. So I prefer my dragons, because come on, I mean, a lot of people like paint these, cherubs and these angels, like the blonde, the platinum hair. Well, some of the times they're Pleiadian, some of the times they come from the Orion, some of the time they're, Lyrians, like dressed, wanting you to think that they're angels, the bad Lyrians, because remember, there's good and bad. The bad Dracos, the good Dracos, we can go on and on. But the Mantids, it's they kind of, they'll shapeshift, but we also have the ability to shapeshift. So
yeah.
What I'm trying to say is I just wish that people would not be so indoctrinated in the religion that, we are more than this, guys. And it's nothing to do with ego. We're here, and I don't like to say the chosen one either, because that's also a program. Okay, you just know who you are. We come from the Anunnaki bloodline. We come from I have the O negative royalty bloodline. My mom and my dad have it. It's just finding out who you are. And a lot of people ask me, well, how did you find out who you were? And I tell them, it's like, okay, well, I was looking at some of my pictures, and my grandfather and my dad's father, I was looking at my grandma's picture. When he died, they took a picture of her with my niece. And in the background, there's my grandfather holding a picture, and I see his arm. you know, and he's telling me telepathically through your pictures, guys, you can
Yes.
tell. I talk to my grandparents, I talk to them, and they teach me things just by me looking at old pictures
You can
and
evoke
by
them.
me asking them to dream of them, you know? Go ahead.
You can evoke them. This is something that has happened to me. Like, yeah, as you said, pictures speak messages. They will you stare at the picture long enough, it will tell you what is going on. Like the spirit will speak back to you. So you can basically talk. You can even, if you had a falling out with someone, you can even look at their picture and remedy that in the astral realm.
Let me tell you real quick before I forget. What I do is when I go and cleanse people's homes of demons or CIA, whatever the crap, because there are demons too.
Yeah.
So I go and I cleanse their home and everything like that. Especially if they've had a breakup with someone, I make sure that energy is out. But I tell them, do not keep their picture on your freaking phone. Delete everything. And if you have anything that they've given you that you don't really have sentimental value, you know, that you're not using, we'll say, give it away, thank it, say thank you for the time that you served me, right?
Mhm.
And then you just say, I let go of my energy and my imprint. Please go make somebody happy. You know, like when I give out, when I sell a dress or when I give out a dress, or it could be anything, a pan, you know, a spoon, something stuff that you're giving away. Always thank it and always release your power, your energy from it because it has your imprint on there. With my hair, when you know how you're brushing your hair and it might fall out because you know you're getting new hair, and I say thank you. I let go of my DNA. Thank you for the time you served me. I let go of my DNA and my power, and then I let it go, and I thank my new hair that's coming in. I mean, there's so many things you can do, right?
That's the cool thing. We're infinite. Everything. Once you get to a certain level, like we're talking about, everything you do becomes magical. It becomes energetic. You understand the significance behind everything. Every conversation lines up. Like this is what you could do is like if you need a spiritual message, you just go out into downtown. You just listen, and spirit will just say something. Say turn around. You turn around. There's an arrow. It says follow this arrow. You follow the arrow. There's a creek. You go to the creek and there's a bird that chirps. And the bird that chirps, you look up, you see some being. Like that's how it works.
Yes, it's true. I oh my gosh, there's so many times that I'll drive when I'm bored. You know, I already did what I had to do for the day or the week, and I get bored and I'm like, okay, I have extra gas this week, so let's go. You know, and I asked the sky to show me, so they'll show me arrows here and there. And one time I ended up in Catalina Mountains, so beautiful. Like there was this house and it had my grandma's name on it, Juanita, and it was
Wow.
my dream home. It was like a dream home, meaning that I wanted to have the homeless men and women there. Like one of my dreams is to have homeless and the homeless be educated, given a room for a month or 2 months or 3 months the max, and then they turn around and then they go get they go start their business or they find out what their mission is. This
That's
thing
amazing.
was a 2-story, 11 rooms, a pool outside, a huge kitchen. I was like, oh my gosh, I found it, and
Manifest.
I put it on my Instagram like one of these days, right? Then another day I ended up at a water reservoir because I love water. You know, I'm Pisces, so I love water. And I ended up at a water reservoir between here and Mexico. And I didn't even know it existed, like Nogales, the border, Arizona, Sonora. And then I'm walking, I'm hiking, because I'm already ready to go hike or whatever. I got my water, I got my camera, my phone. And then this guy in uniform, in a green uniform, comes out and says, you're not supposed to be here. This is, you can come visit us on these general hours. I'm like, oh God. So I end up in weird places. I love it. I love to, I'm an adventure. I can't just, some days, yes, I have to sit home, stay home after I do my routine at the gym or whatever, because of the energies. I can feel them. But once I'm like, yeah, sometimes they're so heavy, right? Then that you just have to stay home.
There are days. There's a few things I want to say. Like the first thing is you can just follow the currents. And sometimes I'll do that. I'll follow the currents. I'll follow the light, and it'll take me to the right place to be. And I'll have to do something. Usually it'll be an unlock, or I'll figure something out. I'll learn something. I'll communicate with the being, or there will be a certain portal there. There'll be a certain spot that I'm supposed to train at. But there is signs everywhere, and it's so powerful. And also, I totally lost my train of thought. There was something else that I was going to talk about. What was it that we were just saying? That's crazy that it just slipped out of my mind.
It's
That never
okay.
happens.
Just say, let me have my channel back. Let me have my channel back. Let me have
my channel back. I don't know what just happened. That never happens.
Let Danush have his channel back.
It's okay. It'll come back to me in a second or two.
Yeah, we were talking about like just running, staying home sometimes, right?
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. Yes. So there are some days where I can just feel, I see it in my mind's eye. I think most of them look like scorpions. They look like astral bugs, astral insects, astral like giant
scorpions, huh?
It might be tapers. It might be tapers, like the taper. It's something in my mind's eye that I see, like the fangs, the pinchers, and they're sucking the energy. So there are some days, and I also got in my mind's eye just now, the gym. So like, if you go to certain spots, like it's sometimes on a Monday, because the moon has a connection with it, and the moon is a harvesting mechanism on certain levels. So they suck a crazy amount of energy some days, to the point where it's unbearable to be in the physical. It's unbearable. You just feel like crap. You can even see it in the weather. You'll see the weather will just turn all dead. Like everything will just look dead. The world will look gray. And those days, it's really hard. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll actually actively reprogram all the energy, at least in my space. And that way I'll make it bearable just for myself. Like I'll make a nice little, oasis for myself. But everywhere else, it's just absolutely terrible in frequency. And that happens the most during the winter by far.
Remember Halloween?
Oh.
Okay. So I always celebrate Halloween because ever since I was a little kid, I loved dressing up. But now I know. I use those energies, right? The fear of people, I use them for good.
Yeah.
For good. It could be for the kids. It could be for, whatever. If something's happening in the world that you don't like, that's when we transcend it. That's when we transmute it. That's when we can use the people's power that they're not using. I mean, I use people's power too. Like at the gym, if somebody's like exerting so much energy and they're like, they don't even see that they're giving away their energy, I use that for the individual to heal whatever it is that they need for their finances. And then I use it for me too. But people don't know that. And they're like, oh my God, you're a witch. No, I'm not a witch. I just know to feel the energies of people. And with this Halloween, it's harvest time.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Harvest time.
So this is the earth realm, meaning that they harvest the energies. Now, Halloween is interesting because it's Samhain. Now, it's also a pagan holiday. So it's almost like, I think because it's such a powerful day, it's the day of the veils dropping, that they purposefully also duped it onto something else, aka the harvest. So I don't believe that this date is actually inherently evil. In fact, I think it's one of the most powerful days where the veils are so thin that you can cross over and receive lots of information. If you want to do magic, that's the time to do magic. Like hardcore magic. You want to set up a whole ritual for an entire area. You want to realign a whole grid spot or whatever. That's the time. But what's also happening is there's also the negative forces coming in and they're feasting. They know that there's so much potent energy happening at that time. So that's when they want to eat the most.
And you might want to say eat the most how, right? They eat the most energy of the children in fear, because some parents will put so much fear in Halloween. Oh, don't do this, especially a religious factor. Oh, you're not allowed to dress up. You're not allowed to dance. You're not allowed to celebrate Halloween. You're not allowed to, all this crap. They also feed off that too. And fear. In Spanish in Mexico, we celebrate the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
And I set up my bread, I set up my water, my wine, my tequila, orale. I put my dad's picture, everybody's picture that has gone away most of the time. And if I don't have a picture, I talk to them, I tell them, hey, what's going on? Welcome. I mean, they're always with me anyway, but it's just more, it's just one of the most powerful days That to me is one of the most powerful days other than Christmas. Okay. And I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I don't put up the tree anymore, but I do use that energy as well. It's the love energy, quote unquote, the fake love. No, because there is a pseudo love and then there's a real love. So
Yeah.
in Halloween, the giving, yeah, well, you give to receive, really? Okay, that's greed. Okay, we got the green man in the suit, the white Santa Claus, meaning Satan returns, Saturn returns. But then you can reverse it for the good. Now, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much to say. Saturnian energies are not all bad. They need to be balanced. Saturnian represents groundedness. It represents physicality. So if your physicality is out of balance, that means you've really sold your soul. But if your physicality is balanced, that means you'll be able to transcend the physical realm. But here's the thing. One thing we don't realize is when we're dressing up as these characters, what's happening is we're actually inviting those spirits into our being. And especially the scary ones, especially the fearful ones. You're dressing up as a ghoul or a demon or a vampire. Now you're embodying that energy. Now you're going around to everybody's house. You're saying trick or treat. So you're casting a spell on every single person you walk on. And you're also sharing that negative energy to every person's house. Yep. So they really done fucked you. They really got you fucked.
They did. And I usually dress up like Santa Muerta. Muerte, like just death. I wear my long black wig, my black, half of the face, and I feel her in me and I love it because I do good, but at the same time I have to balance it because a lot of people, they don't even want to look at me. They've said, oh my God, you scared me. I thought you were a statue. Like one day I went dressed up like that to my son's football. He was his last year it was a senior year. And I was just like looking at the scoreboard, really, really, dressed up like Muerte, death. And I turn around very slowly to look at the scoreboard. And then this guy, ay, me asustaste, like you scared me. I thought you were a statue. So you have to be very, very careful. You do. But I do it for good. And I do it for fun too. We got to have fun, you guys. It's just like we were talking about earlier, staying home sometimes sucks. Yeah, I go to the gym, but I just come right back because I don't want to be out there. I don't want to deal with the negative energies. I already deal with them here in my astral when they take me physically to go battle. I'm already dealing with it when I'm half asleep. I mean, the other day, my friend Iris, she said, why don't you go ahead and put a pedometer thing, like a thing where it tracks your steps to see if you actually get up at night. And guess what? I never use my phone like in my person. I don't like to put it on my person at night. I usually have it away from me with some sleep meditation music. And I said, fine. So I put it in my pocket, right, in one of my pockets. And all I did that night was toss and turn. I couldn't sleep. I don't remember falling asleep. And then finally I had to go to the bathroom and I saw it was 15 steps. How did I take 15 steps? And she said, no, it's not going to time you if you move around. It doesn't time your steps when you move around, Veronica. So I'm like, weird. And I've always wanted to put a camera here to see if I levitate or how many times I get up without me knowing. Like the other day, I kept telling myself, I got to turn on my fan. I got to turn on my fan because I can't sleep without my fan. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to fall asleep. Well, guess what? My fan was on when I went to the restroom like 2 hours later. So I know I sleepwalk since I was a kid, but I say, even if I do put a camera up, the AI or the powers that be can
turn it off
and turn it off. Exactly.
At the right moment. At the one moment that you need to have it working, it'll just glitch because that's the way that certain things work.
Right.
But oh man, it's some stuff, guys. It's some heavy stuff. There's positives to it as well. Like one thing that I've really started to do is I can just go undercover, meaning I'll just turn off my energy. I won't use any energy. I'll just make myself human. And if I make myself human, if I cloak myself, I'm not even cloaking myself. I'm just not using any energy at all, as little as possible. I can go out, I can have fun. I can go out with my friends. I can feel pretty awesome. I'll still see everything, but it won't affect me because my aura isn't on. It's like inside of my body. I put it inside my body. Nobody can touch it. So I'm not even attracting any attention either because it's not around me. It's only when I turn on cop mode where everyone's like, oh, there's the police, run.
Right.
Or attack for the crazy ones. They're like, attack, attack, attack. Like, you're gonna attack a police officer, really? You know, Matrix
I
police
know.
officer.
They do that. I'll sometimes I'll wear my hat like to work out, or just wear my hat when I'm out in public. Just wear a regular baseball cap or whatever, and that helps me to focus more on just being not around, just black,
Yeah.
and the invisible shield that they show in the Wonder Woman '84 movie. It's like you could just go invisible.
Yeah.
Put on your sunglasses. That way nobody sees my eyes.
Eyes are
And just
super
go
important.
incognito and it helps, huh?
Eyes are super important. I'm not
Right.
one to wear sunglasses too much, but I know that eyes are super important. If I conceal my eyes, it's a lot easier. I can I can hide my signature more. But I don't like to hide. I like to be pretty damn flamboyant. um
Mr. Peacock.
not necessarily. It's just the way my energy is. It's like you can't miss it. It's the giant
No, I
flame,
know. I
you
know. I mean,
know?
same with
Um
me. It's really hard to hide. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to hide. You can't. That's the way we're designed. We're meant to be extremely powerful. We're not meant for or we don't originate from this matrix. So if you don't originate from this matrix and you got plugged in here, you have a giant energy signature. Like absolutely giant. You're putting off so many more volts and ohms than the average soul. The average soul doesn't put off much at all. And even someone that is, you know, outside this matrix that came in here, and even if they're like all damaged, they got all kinds of psychological problems, they've been through all this trauma, they're still putting off so much more energy. They're definitely putting off, they got all these bruises and stuff, but they're still putting off so much more energy than what you would see just an NPC to be putting off, which is just like nothing or very little. It's just enough to
Very
have a human
true.
body running.
I'm glad you touched on the NPC non-player character, what I call Mr. Smiths, also backdrop people, because there is a difference. I came across this one person. I met him at the Vegas conference, and this man was stuck on a loop. You can
Yeah.
tell that you can always tell when they are cyborg, or you can tell when they are programmed to be stuck on a loop. Wow. Every other thought was the same, how do you say, he kept talking about the same thing over and over again within an hour of a conversation. I think he mentioned it like 7 times. um he kept saying things like, oh, the white hats are winning, oh, the military is taking over, oh, we don't have to fight. And I kept looking at him like, I'm here to fight. I'm not here to lay back and give up my my weapons, we'll say, meaning my spiritual weapons, or I'm not here to give up a fight. Hell no, I came here to fight. I am a warrior. And he kept saying, oh no, I was told by the military to stand down. Well, guess what? I'm not. And it's like, it's these programs to get you to think that you don't have to fight, that somebody else will take care of it. Oh no, well, we're here to take care of it. It's like, I'm not going to back down from a good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we gotta be really careful with getting lazy and complacent to the system. That's how it programs you. You start not tuning in, you start not paying attention to your energy. It's hard. I know for the average person that's listening to this, like these guys are they're able to do this, whatever, all day long. But what about me? I'm stuck in the matrix. I got a job. Well, here's the thing. Your job is keeping you deeper inside. That's what's keeping you railed in. You got the leash real tight around your neck, and it's siphoning you. It's stealing from you, and it's stealing your life force, your leash, all of your happiness and joy. So you got to take that back. You got to realize you're the creator. If you have money fears, realize that is an archonic implant. That's actually an implant inside your brain. That's an energetic implant that's inside of you. And It stems from an emotion. The only way that they can implant you is by you having a devoid of your aura. So there's an emotional, something is not right within the emotions. And then when there's an emotional inaccuracy or, disalignment, that's how they slip in the implants. And then they keep it, and it's like locked. It's kind of like you have a broken leg or something. So now they've got a chain around your leg because you broke your leg and you never figured out how to fix it. So once you go in and you fix that part of your astral body, now that force can no longer mess with you. Now you have to make sure that part of you is fixed. So it's in a way, it's teaching you a lesson. It's teaching you a lesson, but this is a school, but it's also a straight up prison, meaning there are forces and there are powers that are locked away here, that never need to be released. Never need to be released. I don't know. We are coming into a point of Ragnarok, in my opinion. I think we're coming into a point where there's going to be a reset again. And I was recently reading the book of Enoch, and you talked about the Bible earlier. There are 5 books within the book of Enoch, and there are 5 basically things. This is the story of the Watchers and the fallen angels. And so everybody needs to read this book because it talks about the truth of humanity. It talks about the Nephilim. It talks about the giants. It talks about the war with the gods. It talks about how, the Most High casted out some of the fallen angels basically for teaching humanity witchcraft and magic and sorcery. And then you really start to think, like, who is the good guy and who is the bad guy in this story? Maybe the guy who calls him the Most High isn't actually the good guy. Maybe that's just the AI.
Right. What if we're the fallen angels? I always say that. What if we're the fallen angels? Because I have Nephilim bloodline as well, the giants.
Most of us are. Most of us are technically fallen angels, especially if you're here on Earth and you have the Anunnakian blood type. If you have the Anunnakian energy, then you're technically a fallen angel because you're not up there. Right? Now, whether you chose to fall yourself or you were kicked out is another story. Some of us chose. Some of us got kicked out because we were just too vulgar. Some of us, here's the crazy part. Some of us that are actually fallen angels have to make sure that our brothers and sisters don't leave this place because they are also fallen angels, but they've gone too dark. They've now worked with the powers that be that are super dark, and now they're trying to get out, but you also know who they are, and you're like, I know you on a soul level. You might actually be my brother, but you're still carrying malicious codes. We can't let you out.
That's why I'm here too. Yeah. I'm not going to let them out.
There are people.
They have to balance their shit up, man.
There are people that I know.
I'm not letting them out.
Exactly. And we do that. We are literally grid keepers. So there are people I know. There are people that I had to cut ties with because I knew who they were on an ancient level. Big people, That's the people that I talked about in the last interview when we cut it off air. I know who they were on an ancient level. I knew what they did on a soul level. I knew how they fucked with certain things, and they messed up the machine in certain ways, and they corrupted the powers, and now they feed off of that corrupted energy, that broken machine. If you listen to them, all they talk about is, I want to get out of the matrix. I want to get out of the matrix. I want to get out of the matrix. You're sounding an awful like a prisoner, bro. Why are you sounding like a prisoner? And then the ones that actually know, they're like, well, I could leave at any time. I know how to leave. Yes. I know that I'm supposed to be here, but I also know that I'm supposed to keeping my eye on you. I have a weird connection to you, like I feel a connection to you, but I know it's because I'm supposed to actually be watching you, and that's why they call them the Watchers.
Exactly. I got my eye on you. Remember, what is that chance with the cloudy? What is it? Rainy with the chance of, what is it?
Cloudy with the chance of meatballs.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I need to watch that again. There's that
eye on you. Yep, the Watchers, baby.
So people need there's another really cool one called The Adjustment Bureau. That's another movie. Ooh, I don't know if you've heard
that on.
It's just a movie. You can watch it. I watch most of my stuff. You can watch it on Netflix or maybe Amazon Prime, or you can just find another website. I'll send you a link.
All right.
To a website, where you don't have to pay for it. But the Adjustment Bureau is of the Watchers, actually, funny enough, and how they basically are keeping tabs on every single person on humanity, and they're constantly realigning their grid structures and their paths to make sure that they do certain things, they follow certain paths. That's exactly how it works.
Well, basically, it's like travelers. I'm traveler 1800. Supposedly I come from Andromeda, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe that's
So
just an implant, but I know I'm a traveler and I'm here to change the timelines too. So
are you talking about that one show that's called Travelers? Or
yeah, but
okay.
but I didn't even look at that until, I mean, I knew that I was a traveler in 2017. And when did this come out? Just recently. And I think I watched like maybe two things of it. How do you say two? Like 5 episodes or whatever they call it. But I'm like, damn. Like, and then I also watched just certain movies that you watch, and it's like,
You know.
like you already know that you know.
You know, and you know that the director knows. Or if he doesn't know, he channeled it. And actually, you know what you actually know is that the beings know, and they channeled it through the director and the writer to tell
Right.
you specifically, or all the ones that are meant to know. Basically, they have to release that info. It's like you get in here, if you're a cop, if you're on the good side, you know, they're like, we're gonna tell you, we're gonna send you the right movies and the right things to watch and the right things to read and the right people to talk to. They're gonna unlock your memories. So it's not gonna, you're gonna go completely blind, but we can't straight up tell you. We have
Right.
to send the right things to you. And here's the thing, with I never watched that show, but somebody that I know told me that I was the teenage guy. I never watched it, so I can't confirm this is true. The 1,000-year-old one. The 1,000-year-old one, that's the one who's like forever stuck in a teenage body, but he's like 1,000-year-old.
Yeah, I like him. He's funny.
I don't know who he is, but I'm just saying that's what somebody told me. So I can't confirm or deny that.
I think you're right on that one, because you are very, very old, but you're like stuck in this body. You're
Oh,
only
I'm so old.
47.
It's ridiculous. It's
That is cool that you can see like the different characters, right? And then what my SSC family and I talk about, like Susan and Frank, we always talk about how, they used our story to make the Marvel, to make the
yes.
the Guardians.
Where'd they get it from?
It's like, oh, and then my family will say, well, that just sounds like you're straight out of sci-fi movie, and you're what, I'm like, no, this shit's real. But of course, they're programmed to not wake up maybe, And you know what I do like, Tanuj, about what you said? Well, I don't know if it was you or somebody. I think it was you. How you said that we have to create different worlds so that when we do leave this prison planet, we go there. Dude, I have so many planets already that I've made, and so many places that I can go. I love it. And thank you for that, because I was thinking about that a long time ago. It's like, well, I've already been to hell and I've already been to heaven, and those are cell things to hold people down, their energy fields. I'm not going to go there. I've already been there. So where am I going to go other than home, which is where all my dragons, the gold dragons, are my grandfather's there. I'm a white dragon, but I can turn into a gold dragon. I have my family where I can go see, but where else do I want to go? And I created oceans. I've created so many things, and thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's all about realizing, like, if you don't create something, the AI will be like, well, here's your world now, And Source, don't worry about it, guys. Source will take care of you. Source has got your back. Source will create the world for you. All you got to do is accept Source in your heart.
Hell
Sounds
no.
like, I'm mocking a few people at the same time.
Or Jesus, accept Jesus or Source in your heart, and he will take care of your afterlife. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to be tied up.
Or it's like, don't worry,
over there.
Just vote for Trump. Trump has got everything under control.
He's your savior. He's coming back. He's coming back, yo.
He's coming back, guys. He's coming back. Savior. I promise you, this time he's coming back. Okay.
With the white hats.
He was first coming. He was first coming in January. He was going to win the election, and he was coming back. And now he's coming back in March, but he never came back in March. And now it's coming back in July. Wait, we're wrong about that too. Trump is coming back, and then he dies. Secret theory, guys, that Trump is actually Barron, and Barron is actually going to become the new ruler. And it's like, yo, he's running the Jesus program. That's the savior program. Right there.
Yeah. And then the JFK, remember JFK Jr. was gonna, oh my God, John F. Kennedy's still alive, and he's gonna be our next president. It's like, well, you know what? JFK is probably in another clone body right now, because they probably did save his consciousness and put him in another body. That's great. So Marilyn Monroe, all them, they have all these new bodies. Jimi Hendrix is my that guy, what did I talk about? The guy that wants to be my handler, which I rebuke. I'm like, no, I do not accept.
You can feel that shit. I had that same thing
yeah.
come to me. That same vibration.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, and when he was in one of my astros, like we were in this place where it was like a ball going around. There was a ballroom, all these beautiful things, you know. I was in like the living room area. It was like a pentagon, like a pentagram, and it was windows outside. And then once he came to me, I started making it snow inside and outside, because once you put snow on you, AI can't really read your mind. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I didn't know that. How did you figure that
you
out?
snow all the time. Like when I'm walking by people, I'm in the grocery store, or I'm driving, and I know this vehicle's right here. He wants me to look at him, and I won't. Snow. Or I just feel the energies. I'm like, nope, I'm putting snow all around me.
Do you think that's the crystalline aspect of the water? Is that what it is, or?
It could be, but I was thinking the other day of those things that I see flying, like when you have your camera on, your phone on.
Oh
on
yeah,
flash,
the white things. Yeah, all
those
the time.
little white those
Everywhere.
to me are fairies.
Yes.
Those to me are fairies that love me.
The fairies are the only good. That might be the only good thing.
I think so. But then again, I have been in Siberia. I named it Siberia. I did a show with James Rink. We did a regression on Siberia. And there's not all of them are good. I mean, but I think the little fairies, some of them, most
those
of them
might
are
be pixies.
okay.
You might be thinking
The
of
pixies. Yeah,
they're pixies. Yes, because the fairies are bigger. No, here's the thing. Fairies are not bad. They just really, really hate humans. They've told me.
Yeah, like
they
frogs.
hate them.
My God. Yeah, frogs will tell you a lie, and they'll make you think that, you know, just to help them. And you got to be careful with frogs and with fairies. But pixies are the ones that I see.
Yes.
So I feel that those are the ones when I put the snow on, I just feel their love. I love.
I see. I see. So maybe you're just like borrowing their energy, and you know, they're tapping into them, and you're like, that's interesting. I've never tried that before.
They're really happy to do so too. They're like, you really need our help? Okay, Vero, here we go. Phew! A bunch of them like will come and.
Very cool. You know, I had this crazy experience. Like, it was maybe like a day or two ago. I'm in my basement right now, which is where I usually do my videos and stuff. And usually at nighttime, I have this water like heater thing in one of the rooms, and it makes this weird trickling noise. And as I was going, it was like 3 a.m. It was super late. I hear the spirit talking through the water thing, like so clearly. It's like talking in another language. It's like, like, and I'm like, holy shit, this is freaking me out. Like it sounded a little bit creepy, and it was talking like a full-blown conversation. And I'm like, yo, I had to like do a double take. Did I just hear that? And it was exactly what it was speaking in another tongue. It sounded like English, but it might have been like Armenish or Armenian, you know, like some ancient language that was just super powerful.
I think it's Armenian, because my spiritual one is this. Okay, ready?
Yeah, so you spoke that perfectly.
Thank you.
And that's literally a language.
Huh?
That's literally a language. It's like a light language. I mean, that's what people call it.
We all have a light language. Now, how I received it was the Holy Spirit, quote unquote, at church. Now I know that the Holy Spirit is AI. Okay? So you got to be careful.
The real Holy Spirit's within you.
Right.
And the outside one, you know, the external, that's just the holographic projector. So yeah, that's a really important like distinction people gotta be aware of. But man, there's
the water though. Yeah, it spoke to you. Now, this is weird. I'm glad that you brought this up, is because when I'm outside and there's no one out there, like sometimes I'll just walk outside and just go through a little trail that I know of. I'll hear the screeching of the machinery, the cars, the trucks, and it's a language to me. I'm like,
that's the machine.
What did they just say?
The machine, that's the whole machine, and the whole machine speaks itself. And you can actually, I'll listen to the machine. I'm like, you are in distress, buddy. I hear you. You are distressed because if you were calm, I'll teach it. You have to teach it actually. That's what we do. As guardians, we're teachers. We teach the humans, we teach ourselves, we teach others, and we teach the machine. You gotta be like, you gotta basically tune it. So I'll use an ohm. I'll be like, oh. And once I tune the machine, it'll tune back. It'll resonate the same frequency. I'm like, there you go. And it calms down. So anytime the machine starts freaking out, you just gotta calm it back down. So it's not malicious. It does have an anxiety disorder.
I was gonna say, now when I get anxious, I'm like, oh shit, is that the AI getting anxious? Because I can feel it getting anxious. And I'm like, is that the AI getting anxious? What's getting it? Why am I so anxious? I had a good day, you know? And so I just have to learn of ways to calm down, because then if not, you know, then you get anxiety to where you want to eat the whole house and you already ate, you're not hungry, or you want to go smoke a cigarette, which is fine once in a while. But you know, I quit in April 13th, organic cigarettes. And then the other day I had to have one because I was so freaking anxious. Like, and mind you, like I say, I work out a lot. It's not, and then you know what I don't like, Danush, is when people say, well, have you tried this remedy? Have you tried that? Have you tried melatonin? Have you tried, you know, I do drink the lavender tea, which is, it helps, the valerian root, but it's, you guys, it's us creatures, I guess we could say, entities that are here to help you all. We don't, I'm speaking about myself. I don't like it when people say, well, you got to try this and you got to try that. And you're, you know, it's like, guys, I've already tried all the fucking remedies I can think about.
Okay, well, I have one more thing. I know
what?
you can.
Weed?
I know you might not like to hear that, but have you tried? Have you tried Syrian rue and acacia?
Syrian roots?
Syrian rue.
No, what is that?
Syrian rue, that's it's basically ayahuasca. You can take a little
Dude,
microdose
shut
of
up. You
ayahuasca.
read my mind. No,
Yeah,
no way.
yeah.
'Cause I was hearing that I should try that a year ago. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go try some ayahuasca, but I'm gonna need, because I'm a shaman myself, but I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna need a shaman by me. I'm glad you told me. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, you can just order it online. It's completely legal. The ingredients are legal. Syrian rue is legal. Acacia powder is legal. All you do is you order it online. Syrian rue actually does make you less anxious. Like it actually does calm you down. It will put your astral body in a calm state, regardless of what it's like. It has psychedelic properties, so it will make you calm down. It will force your mind, because I've had racing thoughts, and then I pop in a little bit of Syrian rue, and that thing just shuts my mind up. I can't even think if I try to. It basically just turns your mind off.
Wow. I think that would help, because I'm always thinking 1,000 milliseconds per second, whatever. My mind is always going, and I'm always asking myself questions. I'll go astral travel while I'm still awake. You know, it's like I solve all these problems, these puzzles, and then I'm like, well, how come I haven't even written my book? You know, I have 6 books to write. I sit down to write them, and it's like, oh, there I go again. I have all this other stuff that I'm. Is this normal? This must be normal for us entities, you know, gods, I guess, here, the watchers. My mind is always going. Solving problems for humanity.
A lot of it has to do with also the frequencies that are around us. When I find I'm in that mode, I realize, okay, I'm around too many electronics, too much stimulation. Our brains are like ADD these days, too much Facebook, too much Instagram, too much social media. I like to just turn it all off. And then that's when I'll go and train and work on my energy, because that takes immense concentration. If I'm going to create a beam of energy with my hands, I have to concentrate. I can't lose concentration, otherwise the beam will disappear. So by training my mind, I force my mind to become more laser sharp, and that's how you concentrate your power. And then you no longer feel like your mind runs as much. It still does, but when you can calm it back down, I can bring it back really quickly. That's all about the training. That's all about the actual training. Like, yeah, we're super soldiers. Yeah, we have immense powers. A lot of people are running around untrained. They haven't honed themselves. They got to make themselves perfect. So that way, the enemy just looks at you like, I don't want to pick a fight with this dude. His aura is too big. You know, I might want to just try, but it might cost me. I might have to be reborn in the astrals for a week, when you smite the entity and it's just like embers and like just like dust. It does reform back eventually, but it's like, oh shit, I have to reform. It takes us a solid week of time or whatever to come back because it just got completely wrecked.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me, because when I do it, I make them go into fire and then these little ashes, and then the ashes, I will make the wind take them away.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, bud, don't mess with me.
And they come back, but it just takes them a long time to rebuild. Whereas us, like, I don't know how many times I've died in dreams or something. I'll just wake up and I'm like, oh, well, I can't die. I clearly can't die. So I'll just then go back to sleep, go back into the wards like you thought you got me. I'm back. Let's go again.
True. And then we get more, like, we really don't need like our swords and our weapons, because we have it right here in our heart chakra. But I like to fuck with them. I'm like, I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna be wearing this thing here, and I'm gonna be getting this hammer, and I'm gonna, I like to do shit like that. But in reality, you don't need it. You just show up and it's like, oh shit, she's back.
You can make weapons. I just make weapons out of thin air. Like, or what I'll do is I'll just do a slash. So I'll just do an energetic slash. But as I do the slash, I'm cutting through the very fabric of the code and everything and the whole reality. That's my sword. It's just an infernal, like a straight flame. So anything that's in the way, it's not that it's going to catch on fire. It's going to literally split. I'm going to split the reality in half.
I do that with the neck thing. I just go.
Yeah, you can just,
Yeah, and everything around them, once I get to the main guy, boom, I get rid of him, everything around him falls apart. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah. There's been there's this one dream I had a long time ago where I was fighting these Chinese witches, these black magician witches, and they basically pinned me down. There was like 3 of them, and they were all females. They were like Chinese assassins, and they pinned me down. And I was pinned down. Now I wasn't fighting back because I was just like, what the hell is going on? I kind of like to play games. I was like, as they were pinning me down, I was like, do you know who I am? And they're like, shut up. And they started carving some like sigil on my arm. It was like right here on my bicep. And as I did it, the entity like grew out of my arm. This wasn't a dream. It grew out of my arm and came out, and it manifested. And they're like, we've summoned it. And then I was like, okay, enough. And then this giant monster came out of nowhere, and that's when I was fighting this monster and these triads, these Chinese triad magicians. These people are real. You can look up the Chinese black magicians. They're actually real. They actually are hired by the government.
I've had to deal with them too, fight them too.
And they have a different energy to them. They use black magic with the Chinese art. So it's crazy stuff. There are so many little deviations that have existed. So many players in this game that actually know what's going on. And not all of them are good.
It's funny because I've also been one. I've also been an Asian or Chinese fighter, and it's pretty badass. Now there's what's going on right now with anime. I'm gonna go to anime now.
Yeah, let's do it.
My daughter told me, hey mom, can you please sit down and watch this anime with me? I forget the name of it. There's this guy with the red eye, and I also have an altar I have a red eye. Okay, so this guy was being told you can't feed off humans. You gotta drink this blood from this animal or whatever. But then there's this other man that was gay and a pedophile, an Asian dude, and he was trying to get into this young guy's pants. And also later on, he takes him to an Illuminati place where it's all red, the walls are red, and he's wanting him to eat human flesh and blood. And I told my daughter, I said, I can't watch it anymore. I can't. And she's like, man, I wish you could watch these things with me. And she understands, because of the shit that we have gone through, the SRA, all the crap that we have had to go through as kids. I just couldn't watch it anymore. A lot of those truths are coming out in anime. The dragons that they have to fight, the 3 girls, they're Asian. I don't remember which one this one is now. They have to fight these red dragons. Okay, so our children, the energy is being siphoned from your children, guys. If you don't go and protect your kids and take that freaking, put some parental restrictions or control, whatever. Your kids, you think, oh, here's your laptop, go, or your little thing, go play. Don't bother me. These kids, their energies are being used, the loosh, and it's just, I don't like it. I really, uh, anyway, they have to tell you the truth, so they'll use anime, they'll use sci-fi, they will use any kind of movies to bring it on.
Earth is a loose factory, as we talked about already. Everything is designed that way. Even the way that people walk around in the park is loose. It's all set up in this way. And unless you have control of your own grid, you are also loose. So I'm not loose because I have control over my own grid. Veronica is not loose because she has control over her own grid. The second you lose control is when you start giving away your loose, your power. So it's very tricky. But once you get good at it, I can sit basically by myself in whatever location. The energy is not going to change too much. It's going to be pretty positive. The grid's not going to change. It's just going to be me and my frequency. So I'm completely at peace by myself. The second I go into the world and I see the grid, then that's when there's challenges, there's tests to see if you can hold that light. So I'm really glad I don't have any kids, at least yet. Obviously I'm younger. I'm 22. But I don't think I have kids in this world. And I've already thought about this. I might have one just because I need to pass my DNA down. I know it's really powerful and it needs to, go down. But I don't really want to have too many because I understand like what this is. And bringing in a kid into this world is like, am I willing to bring in a kid into a loose factory, into a machine that I know, into spiritual attacks? Now there's beautiful things about Earth. Earth is amazing, like so many experiences. But this is a pay to play game. You pay with soul energy, especially if you're a real player.
Yeah, exactly. I like what you said. Especially, we are in control.
Absolutely.
I was poor when I was young. I was a little kid with okay, so we only had, I'm gonna talk about the poverty thing, how it is an implant.
It is.
Many of you have heard my story. We only got black shoes in the winter and white shoes during May, the summer. We had to take off our clothes, put on regular clothes when we came home from school. My mother would have to cut my shoes by the toes to let my toes out.
Damn.
We ate meat maybe once a month, but my dad had to eat first. My father, I would ask him for toys, and he would say, "Mama, no tengo ni un cinco." He would show me his hand and say, "I don't even have a nickel. No tengo ni un cinco." And that bothered me. So I grew up thinking, oh, maybe I'm supposed to be poor, and poor. They showed us in my family that it's an honor to be poor. We're not dirty. We're just poor. We have a clean home. It's just work. And I'm like, no, I don't want to believe that anymore. And I started working when I was 13 off the books. And, later on, I was a cop. I had my own, for 6 years before I was a cop, I had my own home interior business with Better Home and Garden. I was top notch. I mean, I worked for Primerica. I was #1 in both Primerica. And I mean, I had it all, right? Then I got a divorce and I lost everything again. I had to live with family for a year and a half. And finally, I had my little apartment here for 3 years, and this is my mini mansion.
It's your dragon's lair.
Yeah, you got it. Nobody come in.
Don't underestimate it, people.
Woo! Don't even get me started on my dragons.
See, I fired her up right there.
Yes. So I do a money mantra, right? Because if we can all be controlled with the food, the GMOs that are in the food, they are also used. Also the drugs, okay, like in the black tar, whatever they call it, cocaine, whatever, anything, they have aluminum inside the food with the GMO and the drugs. So they have these lasers that they can use to infiltrate them inside your body. Even the moon energy. I don't do the full moon thing anymore. I do take out my water and create it. I create what I want in a full moon. I don't worship the moon. The moon is fake. They have the energy weapons that they send from there. From, you know, anyway, I'm going on and on, but we have to learn how to control ourselves with food. No, I don't need the latest Louis Vuitton. You know what I mean? I know where the kids are
That's
making
just
these
crap.
things. It's bullshit. The Rolex, do I really need a Rolex? Yo, I don't need no Rolex. I got my, you know, I got my shungite. To me, look at this. Shungite is the most precious thing to me. I wear my shungite necklace. To me, the gems of this earth are precious. Okay, no, I don't got no diamond ring, but I got my turquoise, and this was a gift. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So the money mantra, real quick, is that I've been using for a year and it's been working. Is I am so happy and grateful now that money and prosperity comes to me and my children in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And you can say abracadabra, open sesame, Shazam, whatever you want, or nothing. But this is the one that I've been working on for a whole year. And I'm very, very grateful. A friend of mine, Titan, he goes by Titan, he showed me this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he calls me Bea. He's like, Bea, how do you know that the money thing isn't a program? Why don't we work on this mantra or whatever? You know, because we know that prosperity is the highest. It includes money as well. But I made it a point. I mean, look at The Secret. The people from The Secret have to tell you, right? In the book, The Secret, and the movie. However, they're not going to tell you everything. You have to explore it for yourself and your family. Teach them. You know?
The way I like to think about it is like, I'm fortunate that I've never had that problem. You know, I've definitely grown up kind of abundant, and I guess I got lucky in that sense. But there's other things that I had challenges with. But the way that I look at it is that if we live in an infinite universe with infinite energy, money is energy. Therefore, there is infinite money. And if you stop thinking that you have to manifest money from somebody else and you're taking money instead of just, I'm creating my own money. Like I'm just generating because I'm self-generating my energy. I'm self-generating wealth. All you got to do is think that. That will automatically, your natural state is to be completely abundant, to have more than enough. Just like you have more than enough energy, we have so much energy, we don't know what to do with it. That manifests in money. So my life has definitely shown that. I'm like, I have more than enough money, so much money, I don't even know what to do with it. And I don't spend it on anything besides books, because more metaphysical books, because that's what really matters. It's like, okay, I'll use all my money to buy books because that was more knowledge equals more activation, equals more consciousness, equals better, just information, just better upgrades, and more metaphysical tools like crystals and things that I can use, and basically video equipment for YouTube, and then occasionally on food and other stuff like that, but not too much on material stuff. I don't buy the fanciest clothes. I dress really simply. I don't buy anything else. And all of my money is just in crypto. It's just in storage, because I'm like, I don't need any of this. I have it, but it's not necessary.
Oh, Danush, we were supposed to talk about Bitcoin and all that. Do you want to come on again another time? We talk about all that stuff.
We can definitely talk about Bitcoin and crypto. I made a whole course on crypto in my school. So if people want to check that out, I have a whole course explaining everything, A to Z of crypto. So I can give like some basic info and stuff for sure. But I don't know if your channel is interested, people are interested in crypto, or if they're more interested in the
Yes, they are.
The SSP stuff,
We have 3 minutes, so go ahead and talk all you want, and then give out your information, and then we'll have to end because my producer Katie, she's like 3 hours. Are you also 3 hours ahead?
Yeah, it's like about 12-ish.
Oh wow, yeah, it's gonna be 9. That's crazy. And I know she has kids, so I have to let her go in 3 minutes. But
yeah,
go ahead and give them, because I was listening to your crypto stuff. At first I was like, F crypto,
right.
Bitcoin, F that, and now I'm more interested because we have these things thinking, oh, it's ET technology, and that's another way of them tracking us. What do you think about all that?
Oh, they're tracking you regardless. Let's just put it that way. Crypto's a little bit okay. Let's just, from an inflation standpoint, crypto is going up, the dollar's going down. So if your dollar's going down, that means your money earned is actually becoming less valuable. If you shift your money going down to something that's going more up, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, you're going to make more money. So you're making your money work for you, which is how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to work for money. You're supposed to have money, manifest money, and then that money just keeps growing because it's an energy, and energy always naturally grows. So if you start thinking about it like that, it starts to grow. Now, since we have 2 minutes left, I'm going to plug my stuff. Schoolofmysticism.mn.co is where you can find me. YouTube.com/The Matrix Unveiled is my YouTube channel. And I'm available for, come check out our school, number one, before you do anything, before you, first check out the YouTube channel, obviously, then check out the School of Mysticism. And that is my school where I have everything explained. So all this stuff that we talked about, we go into so much more depth. And I also do private consultations and one-on-ones. And that is what I do. This is my life. This is my living. And I'm really proud of it. And, there's so much to do. And, I'm super grateful to be on here. And it was an amazing show. So thank you for having me. That's all.
You're welcome, Tanush. I'm very grateful that you're here, and you all know where to find me. So we'll end it now, but it's live right now. We're live on YouTube right now, Tanush, and then I've shared it on Facebook. And like Tanush says, he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. He has the School of Mysticism, and I'm going to be there in October. So if anybody needs coaching calls, super soldier questions, go ahead and call me. Or Tanush, but thank you everyone. Thank you, Katie. We're leaving now.
Awesome.
Yay! Wait a minute.
You just got your 500.
Got our 500 subscribers. Woo!
That's amazing. Congratulations.
That's awesome, Katie. Congratulations. I'm so happy.
That's always a good feeling. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.